Hey guys, today it is time for my monthly project pan update. This update is not as exciting as I was hoping it was going to be, but I do still have 2 new roll-ins. I thought I was going to have 4, but 2 of those things I need just a little bit more time on, and I think I will have them ready to roll out by my next update. So also, the past month I had a bit of a shorter project panning month because I didn't post my summer project pan intro until I think like a week or 2 into July, so didn't have quite as much time to work on these products. Also, I feel like in the summer, I just don't wear as much makeup as I wear other times of year. I've had a lot more makeup-free days over the past couple of months than I normally do, so that's probably the reason why my progress has been a little bit slower. But I'm really excited to get into these updates anyway. Like I said, I have 2 new roll-ins, and they're 2 things that you probably didn't expect me to roll in. And before we get into the update, I would love to invite you to join my channel membership or my Patreon. I have both options available. You can just decide whichever is more convenient for you, but everyone on both platforms gets access to the same perks. And because we just hit 100 members and patrons combined, I'm adding another perk to the monthly list of perks. So not only will you get a bonus video from me, but you will also get a patron and members exclusive live stream from me per month. So some months it'll be a live palette bingo or just a chatty Q&A type of thing. So both the Patreon and the membership, you can choose to pledge however much you want, but the membership starts at $2 a month, and you'll get access not only to the new videos that come out, but also any past videos that I've done for patrons and members. So would love to have you join us over there. We have a lot of fun, but also no pressure, of course. Let's go ahead and get into my project pan update. So last month I rolled in the e.l.f. JellyPop Primer. Love this primer so much. I didn't really wear this very much in July, and the reason for that is because I was filming a bunch of sunscreen demos. Whenever I have a sunscreen roundup video on the horizon, I swear it like takes over my life. The reason why that's relevant is because when I'm wear testing a sunscreen, I don't like to wear a primer with it because I just want to see how the sunscreen performs under makeup sans primer. So that's why I didn't get as many chances to use this in July as I normally would. I did still reach for it a handful of times. You can let me know if you see a difference in the progress photos. I think it's going to be pretty minimal progress, but I do think that the tube is looking a little slimmer than it was in my last update. So I'm feeling optimistic about how much progress I can make now that I'm not doing a bunch of sunscreen wear tests this month. So stay tuned for the next update. Hopefully I can have even more progress on this. I finally finished the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I love this so much. This is kind of a bittersweet one because I am going to miss having this in my collection. I probably won't repurchase it right away. Maybe at some point I will, but I have enough foundations I need to get through right now, so probably not anytime soon, but I loved this foundation so much while I had it. You can see I have been scraping out every last bit that I could get. I do have just a tiny bit left at the bottom, which I will use up after this video, but I wanted to go ahead and roll it out today because I think I have literally like 1 more use left. So I will scrape out as much as I can, but that is going in the empties bin after that because it is done. Here's what I thought I could have done by this update, but I have just a little bit left that I don't quite feel like I can call this empty. So I'm going to keep it in for 1 more month. This is my Cream Franken blush. I'll link the short below where I made this so you can see how I did it, but this is all that's left. You can see it's really just right around the edges, but I do still think I need to use it a few more times before I can call it done. Next update, mark my words, this will be finished. I do not want to have this for another month after this. So I'm going to finish this up. Today I'm wearing actually 3 of my project pan items on my cheeks, but this is one of them. I really love this color for blush though. It's that perfect, slightly cool pink, but still very natural looking color. So it's not like a stark bubblegum pink, but it's still pink. So really have been enjoying using this, but I also really would like to get this used up. Another reason why it might have taken me even longer to finish that cream blush is because I have another cream blush in my project pan. Probably wasn't the best decision to have 2 cream blushes in at the same time, but also I love cream blush, so sometimes it's fun to have 2 to work on. But we have my Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Blush in Nude Kiss. Still no pan on this. I really don't feel like I used this very much in July. I definitely used it a handful of times, and I even actually used it on the lips a couple of times. Not by itself, but actually, you know what? I'll put some on right now to just show how I've been doing it. So I'll just pick some up and kind of tap it towards the inside of my lips and just kind of on the center. And I like that it has a little bit of red to a peachy lip. So today I'm wearing the Burt's Bees lip crayon that I'm also panning. That's all I had on before this. So that's another way I've been multitasking this. I think between the two of these cream blushes, I am going to prioritize the Franken blush until it's done, especially because it's so close. But I do think that that should be done probably within the first half of August, as long as I use it. And then once that is done, then I can really move on to the Milani one, but I'll still use this one in the meantime as well. Another month where I still do not have a pan to show you in my Aether highlighter in Pink Diamond Dust, but I'm telling you, any month now. I don't know if the camera is really doing it justice, but right in here I have a huge dip. Leave your guesses down below. Will August be the month that I finally hit pan in this highlighter? We will see. I feel we're definitely at the point where it could happen. Like I'm starting to expect that it will happen soon. When it comes to highlighter, honestly, that could mean that I hit pan tomorrow, or it could mean that I hit pan in December. Either one could happen. The ABH Dip Brow Pomade. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere with this. So this month I kind of am I'm working towards hitting side pan on this, which I don't normally set that as a goal, especially for powder products, but with this one, you can see on this side, I am getting pretty close to the side, so that's kind of where I've been focusing my brush. Obviously, you know, it doesn't really matter where you put your brush, like you're still using up the same amount of product, but just for the purpose of documenting progress on this, that's kind of what I'm working towards right now. It looks like there's not that much in there, but at the same time, there is so much in there. But this has been my main brow product. This is what I fill in my brows with, and then sometimes I'll also add a little bit of my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen. That's what I did today, but this is really the only thing I'm using to fill in my brows these days, so I think, you know, we're starting to see a little bit more progress, where at first when I was working on this, I was also using some other things in the mix, so this wasn't like my sole brow filling in product. I was gonna say, sometimes I also use this to add a beauty mark, and then I realized that I kind of want to add a beauty mark right now, so why don't I just go ahead and do that. I take this really pointy eyeliner brush from e.l.f. and then let's put one here too. I ended up doing two. I did one here where I have an actual beauty mark, and then I did one on this pimple that is mostly healed, but I saw Kelly Gooch do like I think it was an Instagram reel where she turned a pimple into a beauty mark, and I thought that was genius. But that's another way that I like to use this. Obviously, you use barely any product when you do that, but it's a good way to multitask this. All right, this is the second product that I thought I could potentially have ready to roll out today, but again, we're just not quite there. The Klarity So Mermaizing palette. So really I've just been focusing on this shade right here. That's the shade that I am closest to hitting pan on, so that's also my favorite shade in the palette. I am wearing that shade today, actually. The mattes I have on are from the Essence Coral Me Maybe palette. I did mostly this shade and then a little bit of this shade through my crease and kind of like the inner and outer corners, and then just in the center of the lid, I tapped Oh Ship, which is this shade. I also put some of that on my lower lash line, which I really like that glitter just in the very center of the lower lash line with like nothing else on the lower lash line. I think it looks really, really pretty, kind of opens up the eye. So that's what I've got on today. The dip in here is looking deeper than ever. This is another one where it's like any day now I think I will be hitting pan. But this is one of those shadows where I just like barely tap my finger in and I get all the glitter I need. So, you know, I'm not using a ton of it at a time. So I'm gonna give this one more month and see if I can hit pan on this in August. If not, I think I will probably go ahead and roll this out because I have been working on it for a while now and I want to give some of my other shadows some love, but I am gonna just see if I can finally hit pan on this in this last like full month of summer that we have. One product I rolled in last month, the CoverGirl Exhibitionist 24-Hour Kohl Eyeliner in the shade Black. This has actually been going pretty well. I did make a good little chunk of progress. Not a ton. I think I sharpened this twice since my last update, so that is what it is looking like now. Shaved off a good little bit off the top there, and I am now into that CoverGirl logo. So really this pencil is looking pretty small. Still have a ways to go, of course, but I'm starting to think that I might be able to finish this by the end of the year. I would love to do that. I wasn't sure if I would be able to get there in just the second half of this year, but I kind of think I could. And the great thing about this is even when I don't want to do like a full-on black eyeliner, I can still tightline with this. So that's what I did today. I don't really have any other eyeliner on, but I just went ahead and tightlined my upper lash line with this. And even if I want to go in with a different eyeliner, I can still tightline with this. So that's a good way that I've been making use of this even on days where I don't want to do a ton of liner. So that's how that's going pretty well. So that brings us to another empty, another thing I'll be rolling out. This is the Mented Peach Lip Pencil. I definitely saw this one coming. I was pretty confident I'd have this done. I actually just used this for the last time today though. I used it on my cheeks. That's blush number 1 that I have on. Then blush number 2 is my Burt's Bees lip crayon. Blush number 3 is the Franken blush. So that's how I got this peachy pinky blush today. But this is officially done. Really enjoyed this lip pencil, but it also feels great to have another lip pencil finished. And I will be rolling something in to replace this, but it's actually not a lip liner. I've decided to take a break from panning lip pencils because I think I've been pretty much back to back working on a lip liner in my project pan all year. So I'm just gonna take some time to use my other lip liners, but really happy to have this one finished. I feel like we've had some exciting updates today and then some not so exciting updates. This is another one where I feel like you're hardly gonna see any progress. This is the Burt's Bees Gloss Lip Crayon in the shade Santorini Sunrise. So I unfortunately was not able to draw another tally mark here on my paper. So I'm pretty much exactly where I was in my last update, but even though I did use this a handful of times, I think I just didn't use it enough times to really see much progress. I mostly used it on the lips this month. I think today was the only day I used it on my cheeks as well, so not a ton of progress on there. I'm still hopeful that I can finish this in my summer project pan. My summer project pan will wrap up at the end of September, so I still have basically 2 months. Do you guys think I can finish this in the next 2 months? I feel like I can, as long as I make sure to use it on the cheeks and the lips, because really using it on the cheeks is what gets some good progress going. And hopefully also, since now this is the only lip product in my project pan, I should be able to focus on it a little bit more. So that brings us to our 2 roll-ins. Now these might surprise you. Neither one of these is on my plan to pan list. I looked through my plan to pan list, and I even did a video in June where I revisited my plan to pan from the beginning of the year and even added some new things to that list. I'm currently working on a good handful of those products, and all of the ones that I'm not working on are things that I'm more looking forward to using in the fall, so I decided to wait until the fall to roll any more of those products in, and just because I don't know, I wasn't really feeling any of those products. So I decided to pick out 2 other products that hadn't really been on my radar before, but I'm actually really excited to start working on these. First, I decided to roll in a bronzer. I was thinking about rolling in my Oma Beauty contour stick, which I do hope to finish this year, but I had to remind myself, this is the time of year where I really love warm bronzers. I'm not so much into contouring. So I decided to reach for the bronzer that I have been wanting to have in my everyday makeup drawer basically every month. I keep putting this back in there, so that tells me it probably makes sense to just go ahead and throw this in my project pan, see how much progress I can make on it. Did you guess what it was? It's the Soul Body Bronzing Balm. And so here's the thing with this. I don't think I'm gonna hit pan on this by the end of the summer in 2 months. I mean, it would be great if I could, but being realistic, I don't know if that would be possible. So this is where I am. I have a pretty substantial dip in the middle, but then again, this is really like such a huge bronzer. So my plan is just to work on this for the remainder of my summer project pan, and then once I introduce my fall products, I probably will roll this out and replace it with the Oma contour stick because I do really want to finish that contour stick this year. But I figured in the meantime, I might as well see how far I can get on the Soul Body Bronzing Balm because I just love this bronzer. So wish me luck on that. We'll see how that goes. And the other product I've decided to roll in, this is kind of a blast from the past. If you were watching my project pan in like 2021, this might bring back some memories. But I've decided to roll in a liquid liner of all things. Okay, I'll explain. So this is the Makeup Revolution eyeliner in the shade Sky Blue. It's a cobalt blue. In 2021, I panned a very similar color of eyeliner from Wet n Wild. It was the shade Voltage Blue, I believe. And I bought this to replace that one when I finished it. Since then, I really haven't used it a whole lot. And since then, I've actually made the decision to not buy any more colorful liquid liners because I can just use eyeshadow for a colorful liner if I want to. because I just don't reach for them often enough to make it worth it. But this liner is kind of getting a little bit dry. Like you can see there's some dry flaky stuff on the wand there, but the liner itself is still going strong. You can see that's what it looks like. Really pretty color. But my thought process here is this is really the kind of liner color that I'm most likely to wear in the summer. So I decided to put it in my project pan and just use it as much as I feel inspired to use it. And hopefully I can finish it up before it completely dries out, or at least use up as much of it as I can before it completely dries out. Probably just going to leave this in the project for the rest of the summer, and then at that point I'm guessing it'll probably be ready to be retired, but at least for now I can at least give it as much use as possible before then. So those are my two new roll-ins. It's been a while since I have had a liquid liner in my project pan, a very long time, and it's also been a while since I've had a bronzer in my project pan, so I'm excited to work on both of these and to continue working on all these other products. So in my next update, I will have at least 2 more rollouts. The Cream Franken blush, which, like, I hope I have this finished. I'm pretty certain it will be done. If not, I'm gonna be so annoyed at myself because, like, come on, like, just use it up already. And then the So Mermaizing palette, whether I hit pan or not, I am going to roll this out in my next update and replace it with a different eyeshadow. But let's hope, let's all cross our fingers that we get a pan in O-Ship. So that is how I'm doing on my project pan. Let me know below, did you finish any products in July? And are there any products that you're hoping to finish in August? I would love to hear. We can all cheer each other on in the comments, but thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon or the channel membership if you would like to support my channel further and get access to exclusive content. Otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye!